So, Father, let me ask you some question about 9/11 and what do you think of that? First, what were you doing when that happened?
What were you doing when it happened?
Yeah.
I was 10 years ago. I was walking up after my first period class. I was walking back up to my house, and two students and one faculty member came running out of Bringhurst dorm, telling me that an airplane crashed into one of the towers, one of the twin towers in New York City. And when I heard it, I said, "What do you mean? A small airplane? Was this a mistake? Was this, somebody hit one of the towers?" I almost couldn't believe it. I almost couldn't believe that such a thing could happen. But I thought maybe somebody in a small plane lost control and hit one of the towers or something. But then, when they told me to watch it, since it was on TV, they told me to come into the common room and watch it. I was just stunned how much smoke was coming out of the first tower, and then there were moments later when I actually saw the second plane hit the second tower, and then I knew it was more than just a small plane hitting the towers. So I knew something wasn't right, and people were suspecting that it was a terrorist act. So that came as first I was stunned, but then it became a shock. I was very shocked. I almost felt speechless.
Yeah, so you feel shocked and sad. Yeah. And the next question: do you think it's reasonable for America to enter Iraq or Afghan? And is it worth to do that?
Good question. Between those two countries, I have mixed feeling about that. I think it's more than just an American problem, and I support the soldiers that went over there and that are fighting for our country. But are we? The question to me is, are we doing the right thing as a country? As the United States going over there, and I know other countries were involved too, but I've always felt that we, I don't know, I think that might have been, I have mixed feelings about how our approach to being involved in those countries and trying to solve the problem. I have mixed feelings about that. I don't know what was the best approach, but we just went and tried to fix what we could. But I do support the soldiers over there fighting.
Okay. And do you think? What do you think is the best way to recognize the victim of the tragedy?
What the people are doing in New York City right now, and they have built a sort of a ground zero memorial site. It's probably as big as a block in New York City, so I think the fact that they have been working many years to build this site for people around the world to come to see and to recognize the victims that were lost in this tragedy of 9/11. Close to 3,000 people lost their lives, but it's more than that. A lot of families were destroyed, and there were a lot of hurt feelings, and there was a lot of rebuilding in that. But I think the site that we have right now in New York City, and I also saw on TV that they took some pieces of metal. They took pieces of metal of the destruction, and they broke it up. They were able to break up metal and have it presented all over the United States, so that one piece of metal that represented 9/11 was in each and every state as a way to remember the lost victims, the lost lives in that tragedy. So I think that site is pretty powerful.
And which way do you think is available to avoid this tragedy happened again?
I don't think anybody saw it coming. I was taken back by what happened in Oslo, Norway this summer.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming. I mean, here's a, an, an incident that happened there that took me off guard while I was over in France doing some biking. When I caught it on the news, I was taken back again. Just like, why Norway? Why this particular event? So I don't think anybody saw it coming. Maybe by having stricter security and security might have prevented it, but I don't think that would have solved it. And now that the incident did happen, we have a very strict homeland security system, and that's now in place. And I'm actually happy. So whenever I do fly, if I go to the airport and fly on an airplane, I actually feel safer that they have strict security. Just like at the airports alone, before you board a plane, the fact they have strict security, that makes me feel good. But it's more than just security at the airport. So we just have to look out for people all over the world and how they do all this planning. So I'm being interviewed. So anyways, it's to prevent it from happening. Maybe we can be stricter with security, but again, I think a lot of these incidents happen without you knowing it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for